Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to get to drilling today. How about that? How about that? We're going to put a little bit of triticale on the ground. Saturday, I put in 6.8 acres. Got one field done, make sure everything's working. Let the disc get ahead a little bit. Got two fields to do today, totaling probably 25 acres. Not a lot, not a huge day there. They are chopping corn as we speak. They started first thing this morning to start getting ahead. They're doing what we call the Hun farm. I want to say that's 30 some acres. They're going to rip that off here pretty quick. When I'm done drilling these two fields, I'm going to start hauling liquid manure to that field that they're chopping. Once the liquid manure is on, I could disc it, work it in, let it dry for a day or two, disc it again, drill. That's our regular routine. Generally, we do not deep rip spring work, but we did on these first two fields because we put so much pack manure on. We really wanted to work it in a little bit better and seemed to have done the trick. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drill two fields. We're gonna start hauling manure, disc, drill, and just start chasing the chopper. That's gonna be the name of the game this fall. Chase the chopper with manure, discs, drills. Yeah, so follow along. Should be a good day. Pulled the grain cart out. This is loaded full of our triticale seed. So we buy it in bulk from farmers who just combine their own triticale, clean it. This was actually cleaned twice. And yeah, there's right around 600 bushel on there. Now we get to back out the drill and get to work. The only thing I didn't get a chance to do, these stupid Packer wheels. As you guys new to the channel, I complain about these a lot. Literally how they work is there's just the shaft on the wheel that slides into a hole, and then you got a screw that just or a bolt with a jam nut that tightens against it. They just loosen up, and then they fall off, and then I got to find them. I should probably just scream down through and tighten them all right now, but yeah, stupid design, really stupid design. My grain delivery here, got the old Mac dog. What are these sissies doing? Pair of fence. And now to cut a little bit of hay. All right. I was just kidding when I call them sissies. I don't even know who it is, to be honest with you. Let's get to ripping. So after they do the field that they're on right now, that Hun farm I was talking about, they're going to come down. They're going to start peeling off this big flat. This 130 acre flat. Originally, we weren't planning on putting anything on here, but because this corn has matured so much quicker than the others, we might end up putting triticale on like at least half of it. I would love to put it on all of it, but because we bed sand, I'm going to need a place to dump sand or spread sand when we go to dig it out. And we're seeding down one of the other fields that we usually spread sand on. So if we seeded down both fields near the farm, we would end up hauling sand to our farther fields, which would add a significant amount of time. It's no fun. We have talked about maybe getting a boat in. I don't know. The only problem with getting a boat in is if you're still planning on digging sand out afterwards anyways, getting a boat in does get some of the sand out when you haul the liquid, but then when you go to dig the rest out, it is significantly soupier manure than if you were to just leave it. So the old tale as old as time, I guess. But sand, it's miserable. But yeah, rock and roll. This window got really dusty over the weekend, I'll be honest with you. You have to rinse that off a little bit. Alrighty. just pulled in the field here. We'll grab these couple nice and quick. Rock picker's gonna get fired. That's a good one. That's a mower breaker right there. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with this is. There. Most of the field looks fine, just right here. Seem to have a handful of mower breakers. That's why we run these goofy rock racks. Either way, every time you unfold this drill, you hop out, there's these locks. You lift them up in these tabs, hold the lock up, and you can unfold it. Oh, what field are we at here? Nope. Nope. Yes. Bingo. We have hit pay dirt. Let's get after it. Wow, that is just a dirty window. All right, we're rolling along here. We're at 12.75. I still got the short rows up there, far end of the triangle to do. Get to the end, we're gonna hop out and check, make sure everything looks good back there. One of the things that always makes me nervous about a drill is there's no meters, like on a corn plant, or at least not on ours. So just keeping track and making sure everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing is more just a visual thing. You got to be able to see, and it's actually dusty enough where it's really hard to see back there. But I'll hop out and show you what I'm talking about here. So this is a 455 John Deere drill. We're on 7.5 inch spacings. Our next drill, we would definitely like 6 inch spacing. Grandpa told me when they bought this was the only one on their lot. They wanted 6 then, but they didn't have one at John Deere. So what we're looking for, so this is how it puts the seed down. This shaft has these little gears on it. And when you set the drill down, it engages that chain right there. Well, it actually engages a chain over here, which engages that chain, which spins these. And you adjust your rate with this handle here. And all that really does is open and shut this little door here. So you can do more or less. We're putting down 120 pounds to the acre. Caught a few sticks there. But what I'm looking for is if one of these tubes plugs up, it fills up and it'll be spilling out this little hole here. As long as these holes are clear, seed is going down through that tube and into the opening discs into the ground. So you just go down through and you just want to make sure that nothing is plugged. I've only ever had one plug on me once. And it was relatively obvious that it was plugged just because the seed was coming out those tubes so quick. But it's still good, especially like I said, when it's so dusty, just to get out and take a peek at them and make sure seed's doing what it's doing. You can also climb up and just check these boxes and see how much we're using here. Looks right about right for 12 acres. There's still a lot of seed in there, but yeah. This one too. Looks like they're dropping at about the same rate, so we should be good to go. I just a little peace of mind knowing that you get out and you look at it every now and then. All right, on to the next one here. Check in here on the fellows, see how the fellows are making out. Like they're laying the rebar still for that new pad. that's a wrap on drilling for today. Ended up being, I think it was 17 and 12. So 29 acres. Not a bad morning. It's 11 o'clock. We're gonna grab a quick early lunch and then get on to spreading manure. They got enough of that field done. I can get rolling on that. All right, they're back out painting them brown. Lead to the hog. Disc was parked on the edge of the field, so I'm gonna just move in a row or two here. I'll do 3-4 loads, I'll disc it in, and I'll move the disc out of the way, and then I'll do those 3-4 loads. I might just disc it in myself, that way I know it's not gonna run anywhere, and it's getting worked in nice and quick. Beautiful day, beautiful day. They are still on the bottom of this field, but they'll only be there another 10-15 minutes probably. All right, a couple loads down. We're just gonna work it in. We're not in a huge, massive rush, gotta go. Like right now kind of situation. So we're just gonna work it in. We're gonna make sure nothing's running. We're gonna keep that nitrogen right where it belongs. So unfold the old pig here and make a couple passes, spread a couple loads, make a couple passes, spread a couple loads. It'll be a good little afternoon here. Looks like we got to adjust this disc a little bit. It's kind of sloped quite a bit there. I had to stop and show you guys this. I don't know if you guys can see that over there, but that is a drone flying over corn, standing in the field, putting cover crop on. How freaking cool is that? Look at it go. They got a trailer set up in the corner of that field where they're loading the seed on, and I believe it's seed. They got a pro box on the trailer, and he's out of our sight now. Just spreading cover crop before the corn even comes off. There he comes. The drone just stopped. Looks like it's headed back that way now. I don't know, maybe it's empty. How cool is that? Seems to be one of the new trends, is using these drones for spraying pesticides, and now people are seeding ground with them. How freaking cool is that? Zero compaction. You get the crop growing before you even take the corn off. You don't gotta wait. You don't gotta wait till you harvest to get in there and plant. They can plant now, and it'll be grown for over a month before they even start harvesting that. That'll be grain corn. They're grain farmers, but it's just freaking cool. We'll have to stop and talk to them someday about that. But I mean, I do know a lot of people have been spraying crops with them, and you wouldn't think it would be comparable because you got a sprayer with, you know, a 2,000, 3,000 gallon tank on it, and the booms are 90 to 120 foot wide. It's like, man, how does this drone compare to them? But more and more people are using them, and again, it's zero compaction. Zero, you're not ever running over a crop. And just set it, and it's technology's cool, guys. You're gonna see more and more of that stuff on farming. This technology, just to cut down labor, cut down compaction, cut down fuel, cut down a tractor to go buy a big tractor to drill. If you need a 200 horse tractor, say, you're looking at $250,000. Where one of these drones might be 30,000, 40,000. If I had to guess, don't quote me, but I'm betting that's right about where they are. How cool is that? I think that's freaking awesome. I really do. We're working our way across this field. In regards to that drone, that's something we could use on ground, say we were just planting a cover crop not to harvest. So that's like, those guys won't harvest the crop they're taking off. Where the stuff that I'm planting we'll be harvesting in the spring as a spring forage. And the only reason I say we couldn't really use a drone is we got to get manure on the ground before we plant. Where that, if you did it like that, your crop would already be growing and you might stunt the growth of your crop by putting manure on it later on. But if we had ground, we just wanted to say plant some turnips or something like that as like a cover crop that eliminates some compaction. Again, sunflowers, turnips, radishes, stuff like that. That would be a really, really cool option to have those guys come in and do for us. Oh, there it is. Look at him. Look at him. That's a pretty big drone too. Like, I don't know the exact dimensions, but looking at it, it's gotta be, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's gotta be 6 foot across. Just if I had to guess. Looks like some kind of freaking alien. Got alien farmers around here. How about that? All right, it is the next day here. We're working away, finishing up this field we were on yesterday. I'm backing down through here, gonna come up and do the headland pass down here, and I'm gonna start disking while Greg brings the last couple loads to the field here. Yeah, we got Greg here today. That's nice. We were hoping to dive right into that big flat. But I was just talking with Tyler, the chopper's fan belt tensioner is loose. It's right in the middle of the motor. It's really hard to get at apparently. And they've been slightly delayed, I guess. So I'm really hoping they get that up and going. Like I said, I'm gonna start disking so we can stall as much as we can. To let them get ahead a little more. There is some ground ripped off down there that we can run, but I'm hoping that happens pretty quick here. We're going to be knocking on their door real quick. A very productive day yesterday. It's a one-man show here. Just driving and disking. It was peaceful. I'll give it that. It was a peaceful day. Tell you what, we need rain bad. We are dry. It is hard. I can't believe how dry it got so quickly. I'm gonna turn in here. I'll finish this pass off for them. Then we'll do the headland at the other end. I should have enough manure to make that happen. Field spreading with someone else can always be challenging because they don't always have the same ideas and patterns and such that you want to follow, but it seems to be going all right here today. Alright, we finished up spreading this field. Greg's down starting on the big flat now. I just got a couple more passes here to make with the disc. I will leave the disc here because by this afternoon I'm hoping we could come up and disc this whole thing again and I could potentially drill it tomorrow morning. That might be a little optimistic, but I'll definitely be able to drill this. You see how much it's dried out overnight here. Supposed to hit 83 today. There's a slight breeze, not a big one, but a slight one. So with 83 and a breeze, I would think it's going to dry out pretty quick. Especially it's only 9:10 in the morning right now. So we still got all day to dry out. Yeah, this rig's not going to be fun to clean, but it's part of the gig. New seatings across the road. We'll show you those in another video here, but we did spray off the volunteer wheat, which there was a ton of because the wheat went down and was so flat this year. The thought is this year we may not put the nitrogen on. Usually we hammer that stuff with nitrogen in the spring to try to get as big of a yield as we can. But now that we put manure on, you can't really overfeed wheat or it gets too big and it goes down and you end up hurting yourself more than you're helping. So yeah, but all that wheat over there is starting to turn a lime green instead of a dark green, so it is starting to die down. It's good to see. All right, we're down here on the big flat under motion. Corn is actually yielding visibly much better than I intended it to yield. I haven't got a chance to take a peek at the monitor and see how we're doing, but just visibly, it looks a heck of a lot better than I anticipated. So that's good news, obviously. Still not going to break any records, but it'll definitely put more feet in the bucket. Well, we're gonna call it a night here. It's been a long day. Got a whole lot of loads moved. Whole lot. Just gonna leave that right there. Spot 4. We'll get back after it in the morning. I'll have to tally up the loads. I want to say we were over 60 loads today, which sounds insane. I get it. But again, when you're spreading right by the farm for over 12 hours, that's a lot of loads. So, yep. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys. That's very important. See you guys in the next one. Mark on.